Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're uncovering the real story behind Jiufen's iconic red lanterns and, more importantly, giving you the ultimate guide to experiencing its famous tea houses. Look, if you're planning a trip to Taiwan, or honestly, even if you just love a fascinating cultural deep dive, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly how to navigate the steep, lantern-lit steps of Shuqi Road, figure out which tea house is actually right for you, and, separate some pretty persistent facts from fiction. Let's get right into it. So you've probably seen the stunning photos of Shuqi Road, right? Those dark timber frames, the glowing red lanterns, that misty hillside looking out over the East China Sea. It is literally a magical scene. But we need to address the elephant in the room. The absolute most common question visitors have about this hillside destination right off the bat. Is Jiufen really the inspiration for the bathhouse in Studio Ghibli's masterpiece Spirited Away? I mean, people repeat this story so often that thousands of visitors arrive every single year completely certain that it's a verified fact. Well, the answer, simply and officially, is no. Now, despite the striking resemblance, and let's be real, it is super easy to see why people make that leap when looking at the stacked timber buildings, Studio Ghibli and director Hayao Miyazaki have officially denied any direct link. So that connection, it's purely a myth. You're not going to find a literal Spirited Away tea house here. But hey, please don't let that disappoint you. If you love that gorgeous Ghibli aesthetic, you're still going to enjoy Jiufen enormously. You just kind of have to go for the place itself. Moving on to Section 1. Myth to reality, finding the true cultural anchor. So while that 2001 Spirited Away myth spread globally like wildfire, the real cultural anchor is actually much closer to home. It was the 1989 movie A City of Sadness by Taiwanese director Hu Shaoxian. And get this film actually won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. It was set right here in Jiufen, and it's the real, undeniable reason these hillside lanes experienced such a massive revival. Our heritage writer, Joanne Liao, really hit the nail on the head with this. She says, when people ask me for the Spirited Away tea house, I gently set them straight, then point them up the steps anyway. The magic they are after is genuinely here at dusk. It just came from a Taiwanese film, not a Japanese one. And knowing that makes the visit richer, not poorer. I absolutely love that perspective. A place doesn't need a cartoon to validate its beauty, Acknowledging its true, authentic Taiwanese roots just grounds your experience in reality. And it honestly makes the whole visit incredibly rich. Okay, Section 2. Choosing your perfect tea house. Navigating Shuqi Road. Let's break down your main options here, because there are some real trade-offs. We're looking at the famous, bustling A-Mei, the total calm of Jiufen Tea House, and the sweeping panoramic views of the upper tea houses. So here's the deal. If you want that iconic, highly photogenic scene for your first visit, A-Mei is the famous century-old spot. It's literally the most photographed building in town, but you're going to be looking at a river of other tourists. Now, if you want refinement and a proper calm tea ritual, Jiufen Tea House is an amazing art-filled heritage house. But wait, if your ultimate goal is the cleanest, uninterrupted sea and mountain panorama, you actually want to skip the famous names altogether and head straight up to the upper tea houses. It all comes down to what you prioritize, the buzz, the heritage, or the view. Moving right into Section 3, the Brew-Your-Own ritual, what you actually get. All right, so you can expect a typical per-person cost of 300 to 450 new Taiwan dollars. That translates to roughly 10 to 15 US dollars. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, that's kind of pricey for a single cup of tea. But hold on, you aren't just buying a single cup. This fee covers your high-quality loose-leaf local oolong tea, completely unlimited hot water on demand, and a plate of awesome snacks. Think sesame crackers, dried plum, and mochi. Also, keep in mind, most places do have a per-person minimum charge, and sometimes a tiny teaware fee. The ritual itself is beautifully simple. It's totally designed for a long, slow hour of enjoyment, not just a quick drink on the go. You're basically doing a brew-your-own ritual. The staff will get you all set up with your clay or porcelain pot and a tea boat, and don't worry, they'll show you the ropes. You just rinse the leaves first, do several short steeps, and then keep topping up that hot water. Because of this specific method, one serving of those high-quality leaves lasts a really long time. It honestly just forces you to slow down, relax, and completely soak in the atmosphere. Which brings us to Section 4, timing the perfect view, escaping the crowds. Look, timing is absolutely everything here. As Joanne Liao puts it, order tea before 5 p.m. to claim a balcony, then simply stay. The same seat that costs you a wait at 4:30 becomes the best spot in Jiufen at 6 when the day trippers leave and the lanterns are lit. You're not buying tea so much as renting the view at the perfect hour. That is such a pro tip. Most of these tea houses do not take reservations for small groups. They're walk-in only. So if you show up right at sunset, yeah, you're going to be stuck waiting in a massive line on the steps. You absolutely have to beat that rush. By following a really simple timeline, you guarantee a seamless transition from a super busy afternoon to a serene, glowing evening. First, arrive in the late afternoon to secure a balcony seat while they're still open. Then, by 4:30 p.m., you've ordered your tea set, you're settled in, and the staff is refilling your water. There is zero rush to leave. Then, the magic happens right around 6 p.m. The tour buses depart, the day trippers head home, the red lanterns flick on against the darkening sky, and boom, you have the absolute best seat in the house to watch the sky turn that beautiful deep blue. So to bring it all together for this explainer, just keep these practical tips in mind to turn a potentially rushed stop into the absolute highlight of your trip. Don't stress about booking ahead, just make sure you arrive early. Remember, you're paying for the whole ritual and the view, so budget for that per person minimum. Be honest about what you actually want out of the trip. Go to A-Mei for the classic buzzing vibe, or head higher up the mountain for peace and wide open scenery. And above all else, do whatever it takes to stay until those lanterns turn on. It's a game changer. As we finish up, I want to leave you with this thought to ponder as you plan your own journey up those lantern-lit steps into Jiufen's fascinating reality. Does a place really need to inspire a famous movie to be magical? Or is its real history even richer? We love the myths we attach to beautiful places, for sure. But sometimes, the truth? The local culture, the actual cinematic history, the quiet ritual of steeping tea while watching the sunset over the East China Sea is profoundly more beautiful than any animated fantasy. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy every minute of your time in Jiufen.